Hello, viewers. Welcome back to another episode of An Old Man with a Smartphone. In this episode, I'm going to discuss antennas and antenna gain for handheld radios and give a bit of my perspective on it. Now, when you buy most handheld radios, you get an antenna like this. In the amateur radio world, we call this a dummy load, meaning it has negative gain, or it somewhat restricts your signal, or even just has zero gain. And they're not the best antenna for talking at distance. These are good for when you're trying to control the distance your signal goes. There's even antennas out there that are worse than this in case you want to have a even lower footprint. Now, on this radio, this antenna is, from what it's advertised, a high gain. It didn't give me any decibels, but I would have to assume from using it, and I don't have any scientific evidence, I haven't done a lot of testing, but this is probably a negative gain antenna, or not a negative gain, sorry, a zero gain. And what I mean by gain is the decibels. A 3 decibels is equivalent to doubling your output power. So if you had a 5-watt radio and you were using a 3 decibel gain antenna, it would be the same as using a 10-watt radio with a zero gain antenna. So it's a way of getting the most you can out of what you have to work with. This is another antenna that is stock. It came with this radio here, and it's not bad. Again, I haven't been able to do any real testing with it, and it does not say how much gain this antenna is supposed to have, but much like the other one, I would assume it's probably a zero gain, or maybe very, very slight, like 0.5 decibels, or something that doesn't measure very well. On this radio, we have a much longer antenna, and I don't know for sure if length leads to better gain. I can't make that statement, but on this radio, we're using a Nagoya 771. I can't remember the gain on this antenna. I would think somewhere around the 3 decibel mark. A lot of radio operators gravitate to this antenna because not only does it give you a good performance, but it also is quite flexible. Now, what I've gravitated to is the HYS TC771. This is a blade antenna. This antenna here is about 5 dB gain, so it's almost like putting 20 watts through a 5-watt radio. It has a gooseneck and a thin, flexible blade. Mostly you'll see these on the action figures on television, but they are a good performing antenna. Some of the longest handheld contacts I've ever had has been with that antenna. Moving along is the HYS TC79. That's what I have mounted on my 705. It's another gooseneck blade antenna, but it's quite a bit thicker and quite a bit longer. Other than that, same design. The problem with this antenna is if you put it on a handheld, it is so heavy your handheld will fall over. But it is 6.5 dB a gain. So again, that's like turning your 5-watt radio into a 20-watt radio. And that's quite significant when you're talking about distance and communication quality. In order to solve the problem of the weight of this, I decided to dismount it from the handheld and run it with a coax. And the problem with doing that is these antennas lose their tune, or their SWR, when dismounted from the radio. Your body actually becomes a part of the counterpoise when being used on a handheld correctly. And to overcome that problem, I took the same antenna and I gave it this aluminium back strap, or flat strap, sorry. This is 1 inch wide. It fits perfectly into MOLLE, so you can put it anywhere. But here it's electrically connected under the shrink wrap, so it acts as a counterpoise, or the other half of a dipole. And I have not been able to confirm whether that increases gain at all, but I can confirm unequivocally it does not harm the gain at all. And it'll allow you to dismount that antenna from your radio without sacrificing your SWR. Because what's the point of a high gain antenna if you have such a horrible SWR, it's almost unusable. Anyway, viewers, I won't keep you much longer. I just thought I'd share my thoughts and opinions on the blade antennas and different handheld antennas with different gain for SHTF radio. Have a great day.